So I've seen a lot of other people baking a hot cross bun loaf bread. I thought, could I make it? I've just baked this. Look how good it looks. So I've used my hot cross bun recipe, but I've put it in loaf tin, and I've made, it's actually this long, but I've just cut it in half. So it's this gorgeous, soft, smells so good Easter bread. I haven't done the cross on top because I thought I couldn't be bothered fussing with the piping bag and all of that. And I just wanted to have a bread that is got the essence of Easter and hot cross bun, but you can have it any time of the year. So let's get mixing and I'll show you what I did. In this bowl here, I've got 150 gram of raisins. And if they're really hard, you can pour the orange juice on now. Mine are quite soft today, so I'm not going to bother. So in this bowl, I'm going to just add everything. So I've got some warm milk. That's a soy milk. I use plant-based milk today, but you can use any type of milk. That's 200 grams or 1 cup. And in there, I'm going to add instant yeast, 10 grams, or 3 teaspoons, level teaspoons. And I've got some brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can use white sugar, you can use another type of natural sweetener if you like. I've got 75 grams of soft butter. This is salted butter, so I'm not going to add salt to my dough today because I think there's enough salt in this. If wanting a vegan recipe, swap this out for an oil or a vegan butter. And I've got zest of 2 oranges. I love fresh orange and orange zest, but if that's not your kind of flavour, you can add some orange peel. And I've got, that's 40 grams or 1/4 cup of whole grain spelt flour. And in here I've got white spelt flour, 3 cups or 480 grams. That's just, I like to add a little bit of the whole grain, not completely necessary. And I've got 2 types of spice. I've got ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons, and I've got a pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon. Or if you're in the UK or Australia, you can do mixed spice. I'm just going to mix that together gently. I'm going to add all the orange juice. That's orange juice from 2 oranges. That creates a really lovely moist dough and a beautiful flavour. And now I'm going to just throw the raisins in. You can add any type of dried fruit, mixed fruit, cranberries, sultanas, a combination, but that's just raisins today. It's going to increase my speed. I think that's mixed through enough. So because this bowl has got a lid, I'm just going to cover it with a lid. If you don't have a bowl with a lid, you can use plastic wrap or a moist tea towel. I like to incorporate the raisins into the dough. Some recipes do it after, but I think it creates a better spread of raisins. Cover that and let it rest for 60 minutes. So my dough has doubled in size. Check this out. It's so fluffy. And it's time to pop it onto the bench to place into the tin. So what I'm going to do is, I usually use rice flour. So I'm just adding some rice flour to my bench. Take it out of the bowl. This bowl is rather heavy. It smells delicious. Now all I do is I put some flour on top. I'm going to zoom you in so you can have a close-up look on how I form it. So I'm going to add some flour to my hands as well, just so I can pat it down. Just want to knock some of that air out gently. And then I just use my spatula to scoop it up. And then we can just form like a loaf shape. But I've just remembered that my tin's long today. So I've got my tin prepared here, and I measured it for you because you'll probably say, what is it, Sue? It's 28.5 centimetres long, or 11 inch, by 13.5 centimetres wide, or 5.5 inch. So that's my long loaf tin. If you don't have one that's that long, I would recommend putting it into 2 smaller tins. I did it in my smaller tin when I was testing it last week, and it actually went all over the top and didn't look very good. So I've shaped that into the tin, and I need to let it rise for another proof for 30 to 45 minutes. I've just got a tea towel here. You can dampen it slightly just so it doesn't stick to the top, or you can put plastic wrap with a little bit of oil. And 15 minutes before that's ready, I'm going to switch my oven on to 180 degrees C with a fan. I'll pop other temperatures above as usual, just to get that preheated so it's nice and warm when we pop the bread in. So I've added a little bit of water to this cloth, and I'm just going to place it on top and let that sit for another 45 minutes. So check out that, it's been 45 minutes and that looks perfect. Now I usually do a sugar wash when it comes out, but today I thought I might do, I've got some soy milk here, just do a wash with the milk. And then if I think it needs the sugar glaze as well, I'll do that. This is just to avoid using an egg. But if you want to do a usual egg wash, usually on hot cross buns, you don't do an egg wash, you just do the syrupy sugar glaze at the end. But I'm just experimenting in front of you today. And this has actually filled this size tin better than when I did it in my small tin. So I don't think I've got any problems of this exploding over the sides. My oven's been on for 15 minutes, so that's nice and hot at 180 with a fan. Oops. All right, I think that's enough milk, Sue. I'm going to bake this for 30 minutes in the warm oven. The other thing I'm doing, which I always do, is I'm going to add a little ramekin of water to the base. So my bread's all baked and it's completely cool now. I've had it resting here for about 2 hours, and as soon as it came out of the oven, I took it out of the tin so it wouldn't like sweat in the tin, and I'm really happy with how it came out. So I'm not going to put a sugar glaze on it, but if you jump over to mareepea.com, or the link will be below, and I'll have a recipe link there, and you can do the optional sugar glaze if you'd like to have that kind of shiny hot cross bun look. So I'm just going to cut into it to show you what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to cut right through the middle because I think that will be best. It's really soft, and I'm really, whoops, look at that. Look how good that looks. Super moist. It's still a bit warm actually right in the center. Hope you've enjoyed my how to make an Easter bread like a hot cross bun flavour, but in a loaf tin, perfect for toasting. Happy Easter, and I look forward to hearing your comments below or reading your comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hej då from Sweden.